gosh, we've had lots and lots and lots of stuff happening over at Appraiser eLearning. New courses, new instructors coming online. And we acquired a couple of things a few months ago. So I want to have a conversation about it. And I brought on two special folks to help me tell you all about it. So come on back and check out this podcast.
Appraisal Update listeners, get $50 off any ValExpo pass. Go to valuationexpo.com to register and use coupon code podcast50.
Hi, this is Brian Reynolds. You're listening to the Appraisal Update podcast, brought to you as always by the great folks over at Appraiser eLearning. You need some education? Check us out at appraiserelearning.com. I also want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, LIA Administrators and Insurance. Thank you for your continued support of the Appraisal Update podcast. And without any further delay, I'm going to bring on two very special guests and friends of mine, Mr. Jim Morrison and Karen Conley. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
So one thing that we inherited was a group of great people. And I'm super excited that you guys, I get to work with you on a regular basis. Navy's on board with us as well, and we're tickled to death. She's been moderating some classes for me, doing a great job. But what I'd like to do is have you introduce yourself and let my listeners get to know you a little bit. So Karen, if you don't mind, we'll start with you. Say hello and tell everybody everything about Karen.
Well, hello, everybody. Brian, thanks so much for inviting us on. I don't really know what to say other than my primary work involves Valuation Expo, the planning, the execution, the continuing education certificates, the approvals, and that's my primary focus at the moment.
Yeah, it's a big job, and Karen does a great job at it. If you've never been to ValExpo, you should check it out. It's kind of a well-oiled machine. And Karen's the one that holds that oil can. So we certainly appreciate all that she does to get that really running smoothly and really being a great event for all the appraisers and attendees of that special event. Jim Morrison, say hello. Tell everybody about Mr. Jim.
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm the VP of Marketing and Partnerships. And basically what that means is, I'm touching people with when they want to get the word out or when they want to buy some advertising with the Appraisal Buzz or buy a booth at Valuation Expo. I'm the person to talk to, and if you want to get included in that. So, we're really happy about this partnership with Appraiser eLearning. We're so excited for the changes that are coming for Valuation Expo this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And also selling space for the Appraisal Update podcast, right? So somebody can reach out for that to you as well, Jim. So let's just talk and kind of take a couple steps back, because there might be, probably not, but there might be a listener or two that's not familiar with Appraisal Buzz or the Buzzcast or even ValExpo. So I know. I said it's probably not. So I'm going to have Karen talk about ValExpo in just a minute. But before we get there, Jim, talk a little bit about what Appraisal Buzz is. I just got a magazine in the mail, right? And let's talk about, Karen's got it there. And then let's talk about what the Buzzcast is. What are those two things, and how do they operate?
So the Appraisal Buzz has been around for a long time, and I'd be surprised if there's anybody out there that doesn't know, at least know what it is. There's some people that don't like us, there's some people that religiously read us, and we appreciate everybody. But it's been around since early 2000s, where it just started as an email thread where the old owner Joan Trice was sending out emails and amassed a big following that way, just having breaking news. And we kind of are sticking with that concept of putting the latest news and doing interviews with people. So we have interviews on the Buzzcast. We have our webinars for our Appraisal Buzz members as well. We just do a little bit of everything to help get the news out to the industry about what's going on.
So what is then the Buzzcast?
So the Buzzcast is an audio and video podcast. So we have it on YouTube, and we also have it in your audio formats wherever, if you have iTunes or wherever you download that. So it's available there. And we just do weekly interviews on just different leaders in the industry and ask them, what's going on with their company, what's going on, how what they're doing affects the industry.
Yeah. So you mentioned something a second ago, special webinars for Buzzcast members. What is a Buzzcast member?
So yeah, if you want to get things like the Appraisal Buzz magazine delivered to your home, if you want to have free access to all of the Appraisal Buzz webinars that we host, you can become an Appraisal Buzz webinar on our site. When you subscribe, you can just register right there, and there's a monthly fee. It's $4.99 a month. It's well worth it for your tools and everything you get. And as being a member, you get a discount on Valuation Expo. So it really pays for itself right there, right then and there, if you want to do that.
Great. And how often is you said weekly, I believe. Is there a particular day the Buzzcast comes out?
Yeah, the Buzzcast goes out every Wednesday, and then our email newsletter goes out every Monday and Wednesday.
Okay. So if one of my listeners and or viewers, because we're video streaming this as well, if they would be interested in checking that out, and let's say they're not getting that in their email as a weekly reminder, here you go, here's the Buzzcast, right? Where can they go to find this? Is it on YouTube? Do you have a website? How can they register to be on your email list?
Yeah, so go to appraisalbuzz.com. You can subscribe there. There's a tab down there. I won't spell it out. I'm assuming everybody knows how to spell appraisal with your audience.
I hope so.
You never know. But yeah, just sign up there. You can subscribe. If you want to become a member, you can do that there. Or if you just want the free subscription, get the emails and the podcasts to your inbox, you can do that too.
Name just a handful of guests that you've had on that program that might resonate with some of our listeners and say, "Oh, I'd like to go back and listen to that." Who are some of the guests that you have on that program?
Well, we really try and get some of the leaders in the industry. I mean, Scott Reuter's probably our most common guest. We've had him several times. He's always done a great job. We've had you on the Appraisal Buzzcast a couple times as well, and you always put on a great show. But we reach out to the leaders in the industry, Fannie, Freddie, some of the bigger lenders, talking to Wells Fargo and things like that. It's just a really great way to, especially if you're watching the video, to get to see what these people look like who are making these policy decisions.
Yeah, great. Karen, talk about ValExpo, and I want you to go very elementary again. Let's assume that someone has never heard of ValExpo. So explain what it is, when it happens, and where it happens.
Well, Valuation Expo is a real estate appraisal conference. It takes place this year at the Mirage Hotel, which is in the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. It's a trade show with continuing education components before and during. And we have education providers like Appraiser eLearning and McKissick. And then we put together a fabulous trade show, which I'll let Jim talk about that. Jim has done an incredible job lining up some terrific sponsors and exhibitors. I think at this point we have around 35 exhibitors, and it's really interesting. Every year we try to figure out what's the magic combination of things to advertise the show to appraisers throughout the United States. And we do have appraisers that are coming in this year from Kosovo and Turkey and Canada. So wow. It's not just U.S. appraisers, but predominantly it is U.S. residential appraisers. And so they always say in our post-attendee surveys, they say, I signed up for Expo because I wanted to come for the continuing education. But then in the survey, they go on to say, but the thing I really got from Valuation Expo was the networking, being able to see their clients face to face and talk to other appraisers. Sometimes an appraiser in Cincinnati may not want to talk to another Cincinnati appraiser about who they're doing business with or what they're doing. But, when they talk to an appraiser from Sacramento, that lifts all of those inhibitions and they can just talk freely about everything because that's not their direct competition. And I think what appraisers learn from that's pretty incredible.
Right. It's pretty cool to have folks from all over the country, and in this case, all across the planet, right, in the same room or networking in the same event. It's just a really cool, and there's a synergy there. It's exciting. The events I go to, they seem to be very positive. We have a lot of negativity going on, right, especially right now. And that doesn't help. I mean, I tell my daughter all the time, she's like, I'm so stressed. I'm like, is that helping? It never once has she said, yes, Dad, being stressed today has helped me a lot. It never helps, right? So we're problem solvers. That's what we are as appraisers. We're solving valuation problems. And as business owners, we're faced with problems on a daily basis almost, and we're problem solvers. And it's really encouraging to be in and around other problem solvers, and share that synergy and sharing of ideas. And hey, that works for you, maybe I'll try that, right? So it's very cool to attend. And if any of my listeners or viewers have not attended, I can't stress enough how important it is.
Well, Jim was just mentioning that he has, the leaders in the industry on the Buzzcast, like Scott Reuter with Freddie Mac and Lyle Radke with Fannie Mae. And, those guys are all at ValExpo. So, if you want to go to the heart of the matter and you want to see and talk to the decision makers in the industry, they're on the trade show floor. I mean,
here's your chance. Yeah. And they're very approachable. When I started out in this business, Fannie Mae, I didn't even know the names. And even if I knew some of the key people, it's not like you ever had an opportunity to talk to them either by phone, and there was no such thing as email back then, but there was no conference that you could go and meet with them face to face. So, Jim, Karen mentioned Fannie and Freddie. Are they going to be at ValExpo, and what are they going to be doing there?
Yeah, and they're going to be, they're going to have a special place there. First, there's a session about UAD and URAR. There's some big changes coming up for appraisers. You're going to need to know how to do these to submit your appraisals. Everything's going to be switched. You're not going to have the old 1004. You're going to have to know how to do this. And they're giving us a peek at what you're going to have to know, how it's going to work. So anybody that's planning on doing appraisals in the next couple of years, you're going to need to know how to do this. So you might as well find out now and get familiar with it to help with the learning curve. So they're going to be there. They're going to have actually a special private space there where you can have demos of how it works and get hands-on training to how to do it. So we're really excited for the partnership that they've put with us for Valuation Expo and doing that. It's going to be a great time.
So a couple of things on that vein. A lot of appraisers were super upset with Fannie Mae's announcement that came out a month or so ago about the waivers and the hybrids and the data property collectors. And I get it. It was certainly bad timing, but the vibe going around the profession is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac trying to get rid of us. Well, if they're trying to get rid of us, why are they unveiling a new form? I mean, there'd really be no need for a new appraisal form if there's not going to be appraisers. So that's just kind of contradictory, isn't it? And so I tell you, it's time. It's way past time for a new form. The current form that practicing appraisers, the name of that is the Uniform Residential Appraisal Report, right? URAR. Folks call it the 1004 form, but that's the Fannie Mae form number. The URAR has been around a long, long time, but it was most recently revised in 2005. That's 18 years ago. And listen, appraisers, listen, if you're filling out an 18-year-old form and you're just checking the boxes and you're like, whoop, I checked every box, so I'm good, you're not good. An 18-year-old form does not get you in compliance with the current edition of USPAP. You got to add stuff. So we're way past due for a new form. And it sounds like that's happening. And I think, how much time have they been allocated at ValExpo to talk about their new form? It's not really a form, but let's just say, how long have they been allocated to speak on this subject matter about the new form?
They'll be at the podium for 3.5 hours on the show runs August 7th through the 9th. They're going to be at the podium on August 8th from 8:30 in the morning until noon, talking about the new form.
Wow.
Well,
wow.
it's really a new form, but
Right. But whatever's replacing that sucker, right. So hey, you two stick around. I need to do a shout out to my sponsor, and then I'll be right back with you. Guys, for 45 years, LIA Administrators and Insurance Services have been offering E&O insurance to valuation professionals just like you and I. LIA applies superior customer service, exceptional liability, education, and unparalleled claim defense to serve over 10,000. Man, that's a bunch. 10,000 real estate professionals all over the country. They offer various types of insurance. Check them out today at liability.com. You'll be glad you did. So guys, listen, I won't keep you much longer. I know you're really, really busy. We put a lot on your plate to do. But there's something new coming up at ValExpo. Something about, somebody said bring your putter. No, you don't have to bring your putter. We'll have one there for you. What am I talking about, Jim? Why would we need a putter at an appraisal conference?
So we actually love to do fun things at Valuation Expo. We think that that's one of the reasons to come to Valuation Expo, is to have fun networking with your friends, getting to meet people in a different aspect. We have our cornhole tournament that's sponsored by RestB.ai. So that's a fun thing. And one of the benefits of that is, you're standing next to your opponent. So you're getting to meet new people. It's not even like you're standing across from your partner. So you're meeting new people every time you're in a tournament, meeting new people, finding out what they do. And then we have, which we think will be really fun this year, we've come up with the ValExpo Open. And holes are going to be sponsored by different booths on the trade show floor. And we have these putting greens that we're putting out. And you're going to get to go around and putt around, meet the booths that are sponsoring it. And then at the end of it, we'll tally up your score and we give away prizes for the winner. $500 to the lowest score, as well as some prizes just for people that have competed and finished and all that. So we're really excited for it. We think it'll be a fun way to bring networking to the trade show floor.
Whoa, $500. So everybody just needs to start practicing their putting. I know Hal and I got to putt around the office the other day for a little bit. I don't know where that video's at. But Karen, if there's a listener or watcher, if they want to sign up for ValExpo, all right, they say, all right, I've heard your podcast. I've watched the video. I'm interested in winning $500 in Las Vegas, right, by putting. Where do they go to register or find out more information about ValExpo?
It's super easy. They can go to valuationexpo.com. There are tabs across the top of the screen that can lead them to the schedule so that they can get a full list of what we're offering in pre-conference courses. They can see the hours for the trade show. They'll get information on Lenders and Vendors Live, which is a program that we put on for all of the sponsors that are participating, and some lenders where they do like a 7 to 8 minute elevator pitch about their newest policies or products, services. And then there's a tab where they can look at the venue. It has a link directly to the Mirage for our overnight room rate, which is $82 a night plus taxes and resort fee. And it's a fantastic hotel, has all kinds of great casual dining and upscale dining if you're into that. Then the other tabs show the sponsors and exhibitors that are going to be there on the trade show floor. And then there's that registration button. So, and if you are doing the registration and you encounter any issues whatsoever, my phone number and my email is on the registration page. You can always reach out to me directly. I'll be happy to help.
Fantastic. Let me ask you, Jim, before I cut you guys loose, Karen talked about networking and maybe meeting other appraisers in different geographic locations. You don't feel threatened by them, being your competitor in your own backyard, and the synergy that comes with putting a like-minded folks together. But talk about the sponsors for a little bit. How many sponsors are you going to have there, and what type, or any of our appraisers like me Are some of our clients going to be there? Would it be you talked about being able to rub elbows and talk to Fannie Mae, but what if I want to get on a new AMC or lender's approved appraiser list? Are any of them going to be there? Talk about the sponsors a little bit, how many there are, etc.
Yeah, I can't even count. It's almost 40 sponsors and exhibitors that we have total. And, some of the sponsors are there doing some standalone sponsor things like sponsoring lunch or sponsoring coffee for everybody. And then some of them have the booth. As far as the booths, we have a little bit of everything. We have E&O insurance. We have software. We have education companies. We have AMCs. We have lenders. Everything you need as an appraiser, there's somebody there that handles some aspect on it. So especially for new people in the industry, you can go and compare E&O insurance to the others on the trade show. Compare the education products. Compare the AMCs. It's all there, all in one spot. You can go around and get set up for everything you need.
So one thing I would recommend to an appraiser if they've slowed down a little bit, it certainly gives you pause to think, should I spend money to go to an event like this? But I think it's the proper time, because one thing that I'm going to do while I'm there, I'm going to go around to each one of those vendors and make sure my appraisal company is on their approved appraisal list. And if I'm not on that list, I'm going to ask them, how do I get on that list? If I am on their list, I'm going to say, hey, I'm Brian, I'm going to put a face with a name. I'm going to try and get to know those folks and try and create rapport with them. Tell them I'll take good care of them. Hey, just try me out. Send me an appraisal order, right? So I've done that before, and that's certainly high on my list as an attendee to get around and talk to those folks. It puts appraisers and those that order appraisals in the same room together, and that's one thing I like about that. Karen, if somebody wants to reach out to you and have a conversation, they want a little bit more information, what's the best way to get a hold of Miss Karen?
Well, you can reach me via email. My email address is Karen@storyboardemp, that's like education management program.com. And if you want to give me a call, you can always reach me at 513-490-0226.
Mr. Jim, if somebody's listening and they go, oh, I know a perfect person to be on the Buzzcast, right? Or I'd like to write an article for your next Buzz magazine. I don't know if you're looking for guests to be on the program as well as people to write for a magazine, but if so, and someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of Mr. Jim?
So we are always looking for new content. If anybody, we see this in the comments. Why are you publishing what that person wrote? I want to write. Well, then write for us. We're always looking for content. Send us your content. We'd love to review it and publish it for you. We see so many people that start off publishing just in the Buzz and they get the bug and then they start, their own websites and things like that. So it's a great place to start and get a reading and a following. But you can reach out to me. It's pretty easy. JIM@AppraisalBuzz.com. And that routes to me, or give me a call, 513-919-4700. And then I could handle, getting you set up on the Appraisal Buzz, or we have 2 booths left at this point. I don't know by the time this publishes if that's still going to be the case. But if you want a booth and you want to be at Valuation Expo on the trade show floor, now's the time to do it.
2 booths left. You better hurry. Call Mr. Jim if you want to scoop one of those up. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I know you're both very, very busy, and I was late to the party today, so I apologize. But our whole team's going to be in Vegas, right? I think isn't everybody coming? Yeah, so we're excited to be there. We're excited for the conference. We certainly hope you as a listener make the decision to join us August 7th through the 9th in Las Vegas. It's going to be a great time. Thanks again for being here, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thanks. We appreciate you inviting us, Brian.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Appraisal Update Podcast, brought to you by Appraiser eLearning. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're doing very well. I hope business is picking up. You're finding ways to diversify and seek new opportunities. Don't wait for the opportunity. Create your next opportunity. You've been listening to the Appraisal Update Podcast. For Karen, for Jim, I'm your host, Brian Reynolds. Thanks again to LIA Administrators and Insurance for your support. Until next time, happy appraising.
The Appraisal Update Podcast is brought to you by Appraiser eLearning.